Hello everybody, welcome back to 2CTV with your latest news update coming from the Middle East. Hamas in Gaza have officially suspended the ceasefire deal with Israel. This is followed by the Prime Minister Netanyahu's announcement a couple of days ago demanding that Hamas release all the other hostages and of course stop with the humiliating ceremonies. Hamas have now said, nope, we will no longer negotiate with the Israelis until they release all the Palestinian prisoners. That's thousands of them. And now we're also getting some breaking news over the last few minutes that Hamas, the Islamists, have attempted to attack Israel over the last few minutes from the southern parts of Gaza, but they have failed so far. We're going to give you guys all that information. There's a lot to cover. But before we start, if you remember last night, we announced that we are releasing a new documentary on 2CTV Plus called Groomed, led by Sammy Woodhouse, also featuring the Reform UK MP Rupert Lowe. And obviously last night I did a very kind of temporary promo deal for you guys to join 2CTV Plus, but actually I can also announce that we're going to continue that deal relatively. If you use the promo code DOC10, documentary 10, DOC 10, by going on 2c.tv, you can actually join 2CTV Plus, get 10% off annual memberships. The link is also in the description. Get that done. It's a limited offer, and join the 2CTV Plus gang. Now let's talk about what's going on. The Prime Minister of Israel obviously announced yesterday, actually 2 days ago, that we will not be releasing the Palestinian terrorists and prisoners. That was supposed to be done at the weekend because of the Gaza side violating the hostage deal repeatedly, including the fact that they sent out a random corpse pretending to be Shiri Bibas. And of course, with all the ceremonies that they've been doing, the propaganda and everything else in Gaza. So Israel said, well, you have to stop violating the agreement and then we can resume negotiations. Well, now we have a reaction from the leadership in Gaza saying, well, we're not going to do that anymore. We're just going to completely suspend the hostages deal, the ceasefire and the negotiations. So there's now absolute panic across Gaza because there's obviously the Palestinians know that the IDF are now getting ready to restart their counter-terrorism operation in the Gaza Strip. Meanwhile, obviously, as I said over the last few minutes, we've been getting updates that the Islamists are targeting Israel from the southern parts of Gaza, not even the northern parts, because they're still not really, haven't managed to completely regroup over there. But the update that we have is quite interesting. A rocket was launched from the southern parts of Gaza towards Israel, but the rocket failed and landed within Gaza. They literally hit their own people again. Why would you bother? You don't even know how to attack at this point. It's stupid, right? Anyway, so they can't even attack the Israelis, but they have actually said, while they said we are suspending the ceasefire and we're attacking Israel now, they have actually said, because they're scared, we may release 2 bodies of the hostages who are also dead. So they basically confirmed that more of the hostages are no longer alive. And they think, if they think they're doing carrots and sticks, they think they're doing good cop, bad cop. We're suspending the ceasefire. We're attacking, even though we're actually hitting our own people for some reason. But don't worry, we're going to give something back. 2 dead bodies. I don't think that's the best way to keep the Israelis calm. Now that you've confirmed there are at least 2 other hostages who are dead, and now you want to release their bodies, right? That's just going to make Netanyahu's government even more furious. We're also getting updates, apart from the rocket that was launched. We believe it's from the Rafah area because we're hearing some updates from Rafah that there's some explosions over there as well. We cannot confirm whether this is the IDF or whether this was the Islamists, again, accidentally hitting themselves. We're not sure what happened exactly there. It's a bit of a mess down there in the southern parts of the Gaza Strip. We will keep you guys posted on the attempts by Hamas in Gaza when it comes to attacking the Jewish nation. I think they might want to escalate that over the next few hours, or it might just have been a bluff, like a barking thing, like, oh, look at us, we still have rocket launchers, even though we're still hitting our people somehow. The reaction so far from the Israeli government, including the Treasury Minister, is very robust. He's come out to say, when the time comes to resume operations in Gaza, you will be astonished by its power, precision, and lethality. I can say with full confidence that the IDF is actively preparing for this under the leadership of incoming Chief of Staff, Eyal Zamir. Following a clear directive, we are spearheading, backed unequivocally by President Donald Trump. So the Israelis are finally using the green light given to them by President Trump. And that is the key point. That is how you make a difference in this whole conflict that you're dealing with. Because you cannot go around condoning bad behavior done by the Islamists. They've been going around claiming victory. We are winning this, we are winning that, this is the end, and we are so confident. They have also resumed schools in Gaza. Children are back in official schools, which means the propaganda program within the schooling system is back on track. Everything's fine apparently, and the moment the IDF fully attack back against a counterattack, because Hamas once again started this, then they're going to be victims again. They're going to be saying, oh no, these mean Jews are attacking us. One of the perfect examples of this type of mentality is this man. In case you don't know who this beardy weirdy is, smelly weirdy, this is Abu Sufyan al-Satari. Now, this man is a Gazan influencer. He's a big figure, but he wants you to know he is just a Palestinian civilian. First things first, let me show you what Abu was up to 3 days ago when they were releasing the hostages and obviously the bodies as well. This is what he was doing. Just watch what he's doing, and the kids behind him who are defacing the Bibas family's posters or whatever.
اسمع عالم، نحن هنا من أرض التسليم من بلسيلة، أرض الرجال، أرض الكرم. تحياتنا للجماهير، تحياتنا للجماهير.
Pretty confident. He was basically saying we are victorious, we are winning, we're all part of the resistance. When he was being attacked and his so-called family, then they were victims. The reason I showed you this man's face, who right now is just representing Palestinians, right? I'm just one of the Gazans. Do you know what he was doing on the 7th of October 2023? When the official Hamas soldiers with their uniforms and the ski mask, whatever, going around kidnapping Israelis, the official government of Gaza, when they were doing that. Well, Abu was also taking part in the whole thing, walking around carrying a sword while the Israelis were being kidnapped. Watch this. This is on the 7th of October. Abu was very happy. Abu, afterwards, when Israel decided to start the counter-terrorism operation, started crying, saying he's a victim. Abu cried, but Abu is now once again victorious. The smelly Santa of Gaza is now saying they are winning. The resistance is winning. 6 weeks ago, Abu was going around saying he's starving. The whole family is starving because there is no humanitarian aid. Somehow, Abu has gained more weight now than before October the 7th, 2023. Not really sure what he's been eating, but he's been gaining weight instead of losing weight. So, Abu cried. Then he started to celebrate, and soon Abu is going to be crying again as the IDF prepare to hit back. Now, Meanwhile, there's a problem because the Western establishment have been collaborating with Hamas. Yes, with the smelly beardies. The BBC, and we talked about the BBC over the last couple of days, with the documentary that they've done in Gaza. The documentary was not a real documentary, it was a collaboration with Hamas, orchestrated, very well edited. It was just a propaganda piece. But then we discovered, well, have the BBC, how much cooperation did they do with Hamas? Because obviously, if you do a documentary, you have to pay a fee for people to appear on your show. And we do it all the time. We've done documentaries and we continue to do documentaries. If someone comes on the show, you have to obviously pay for their expenses and the fee and everything else. It costs a lot of money. So the BBC did this. And now there is a bit of a pushback. Even Kemi Badenoch, the leader of the Tory party, has come out to say they're demanding to find out whether the BBC paid Hamas to do the documentary. Because the documentary did not include civilians, it included actual Islamists, officially part of the membership of the organization, right? They've been walking around pretending to be civilians. Obviously, the face of the documentary was the other Abdullah, who was the son of the Hamas deputy minister. I am Ali Zori. But since then, there's a lot of questions about whether the BBC should be fully investigated by the state and the government, okay? Now, one issue is that the BBC have pulled the documentary from its platform, which means they've admitted guilt. They've said, oopsie. But now, there's a demand for them to apologize. But it goes beyond that because it's about a full investigation, because there could be a bit of a treason situation here. If you work voluntarily with a terrorist organization, you could be in a lot of trouble. Jackson Hinkle, the American communist who is currently in Lebanon, and he attended the funeral of Mr. Potato Head, Hassan Nasrallah, he is potentially going to get into trouble when he gets back into the US because Kash Patel, as the new head of the FBI, is keeping an eye on him. Because if you work with terrorists, you have to answer some questions. Does the same apply to organizations like the BBC? Or are they receiving safeguarding from our politicians? See? This is what needs to be fully investigated. Now, we have to get some reaction from you guys while we wait for more updates, because as we said over the last few minutes, we had Hamas trying to attack Israel, but they somehow hit their own people in Gaza. The rocket literally launched from Gaza and hit Gaza. Don't know what sort of training these idiots are receiving, but just another reminder, obviously we have our documentary coming out with Sammy Woodhouse featuring Rupert Lowe, the Reform UK MP, called Groom, and it will be released by the end of this week. We are continuing our promo. If you want to join 2CTV Plus, you can actually get 10% off if you use the promo code DOC10 by going on 2c.tv, or find the link in the description. It's a limited offer. Obviously last time we did a bit of a promo for those who were watching live, but a lot of you guys might have missed that, so I thought it would be good to do a bit of promotion. Join 2CTV Plus now and use the promo code DOC10. Okay, what's going on with you lovely people? Do we have any trolls in the live chat? Okay, let's see what this one is. 1400 years passed, yet these sons of Satan can do nothing to Jews. The sons of David are strong and powerful. Mother boys of Gigolo, MHMD of Khadija can do nothing. Yeah, don't mess with the Jews. It's just not worth it, right? Kim says that the telly license man showed up the other day acting like Hamas. That's what they do, trying to demand money. Oh dear, just don't watch it, right? What is this? Mr. Tusi, Suella Braverman has dropped 85,000 bombs on small Gaza strip. That's more bombs than was used in Second World War. What did you expect? Of course, the prisoners of war, it means hostages, would likely be killed as well. They haven't been killed by the airstrikes. That's the point, because they've been held in tunnels. So that's why they didn't die, because of the airstrikes. And you do realize, if Israel were to use full capacity of all the bombs that they have in the Gaza Strip, which is smaller than this home studio, firstly, it will take about half an hour to wipe out the whole place. And secondly, if nobody would be alive. But in reality, the population of Gaza has increased since October the 7th, 2023, because that's not how it's actually happening. There is no genocide. It's a very, very difficult counterterrorism operation. Everything is booby-trapped as well in the tunnels and everywhere they go. The whole operation in Rafah took months, and Rafah is small. But the idea of how to be cautious everywhere they went to make sure they're not randomly hitting civilians or they're not being exploded. If they wanted to, they could wipe out the whole thing within 10 minutes. Considering they're already being accused of doing genocide, they could have just done it and get away with it. But no, because they know it's not a good idea. Anyway, someone says, I call total BS on the claim. Which claim is that? Out of context. Someone says IRGC David Cameron shouldn't be happy. What's going on today? We're talking about Suella Braverman and David Cameron. I'm very confused about what's going on in the live chat, guys. Sorry. Amanda says, let me explain the difference between prisoners and hostage. Where's the rest of the message? Is there a rest? I'm not sure. Craig says, we don't want cavemen and the far left on our streets this weekend. This needs to be stopped. Oh, that reminds me. Well, now that they've essentially suspended the ceasefire, and now that Hamas tried their best to attack Israel, even though they failed, you do realize that means this coming Saturday, you're going to get massive protests in London, in Toronto, in New York, everywhere. Oh, yeah, it's going to be great. So if you're a Jew, probably best to avoid city centers. It's not good. And also if you're a normal, sane person, and if you have a problem with smell, then don't go to city centers, because it's just not worth it. They are already, I can assure you, they're already organizing the next big protest, because they know Israel is about to attack Gaza again. So Tony says, David Lammy, here we go. Oh, Lammy has been in his role as Foreign Secretary for 233 days, racking up £521,525 in food and drink expenses, an impressive £2,238 a day. The state pension works out at £31.60 a day. Also, for the record, state pension is very, very low. But yeah, that's it's not good, is it? It's David Lammy. He needs to eat. He needs his protein. Come on, guys. Otherwise, if he doesn't eat, it's genocide. You know how it works with these guys. Yeah, that's a good comment, by the way. Purple Pulp, yo, 2C. That's how it says. Yo, 2C. Interesting things are developing in Syria with the Israelis and the Druze. Keep your ears up. Yes, I've already seen some updates from Syria. The new Syria, ladies and gentlemen. The pro-Al-Julani Syrian supporters are currently protesting. By the way, their own regime is in power, but they're protesting. Why? Because of the Jews. So the Al-Julani's Islamist minions are not happy because Israel is taking control of the buffer zone, right? The so-called neutral zone. It has to, because that agreement was with Assad, for the record, right? That was a different country, that's Syria. But the Kurds are still advancing. Well, to be fair, the Kurds have been fighting for a long time, and they're still not really receiving any real help from the Americans anyway. So they've been kind of abandoned. The Druze, we're going to keep you guys posted on that, because I think, actually, over the last couple of days, we've had the Israelis do a couple of tiny operations by the Syrian border anyway. I believe he wants to ensure that there is absolutely no threat coming from that side, considering he has to deal with the northern parts and the southern parts in Gaza and everything else. Luckily, Assad's regime, who were basically helping the IRGC proxies, that's gone, but doesn't mean that the Jewish nation will be safe from Al-Julani's idiots, because they are basically like ISIS. So beepers and jets and walkie-talkies. There are a few things of my favorite things. I still love what happened yesterday. Was it yesterday, the funeral? Where the Israeli jets were just flying on top of the funeral. Everybody was running away. And then the moment the jets disappeared, they all became confident again. You know what they do? Somehow they always decide to take off their shoes and take one shoe up, point at the jets. Yeah, because there's an Israeli jet with a professional pilot, and if they see your shoe, they'll be like, well, that's just terrifying. The shoe's coming for us now. Well, guys, we have to go back to Israel. So the Palestinians, the Hezbollah supporters thought the Israelis got scared because of the shoes. The shoes stopped the attack. No, the Israeli Air Force were just trying to troll. They were trolling you by flying over the funeral. They had every opportunity, by the way, to take out everybody, but they didn't, because they knew there were a lot of civilians there as well. It was funny though. Pika says, I hope that's not putting the remaining Israeli hostages in jeopardy. Well, that's up to Hamas, I guess. So they have already confirmed that they have 2 more dead hostages that they want. They could release the bodies, the 2 of them. But that's if Israel release all the Palestinian terrorist prisoners, which is in the thousands. That's, yeah. I don't think that's a fair trade deal. So it's not really fair. Someone in the live chat, George, says, the funeral with no body. Firstly, it's been 5 months anyway. Secondly, even at the time, Hassan's body wasn't really a body anymore. It was crushed. So I don't know what was in that coffin thing. Well, they don't even do coffins. They just do a mummy wrap. Dean says, BBC calls British a bullcrap corporation. Yep. Corey says, I knew they were going to do a flyover. It was almost expected. Yeah, but the shoes, guys, the shoes stopped the attack. That's the key point, right? Babylon says the West needs to wall off those primitives. Never share tech again. Then invoke the prime directives. Oh, God. Let's double check, because what's this? My missus drops smelly bombs every day. Oh, no. You need a ceasefire at home. Someone says no such thing as half Jewish. Yeah, well, unless you're from your dad's side, so not your mum's side. Now let's double check, because I think we're just awaiting some more updates from the hellhole of Gaza. Let me just quickly double check for you guys while we are here. I'm trying to see if there has been any instant retaliation from the IDF so far. So they have. I'm going to show you exactly what's going on now in Gaza, in case you don't know. They have brought everything back to normal, right? So literally a few weeks ago they were saying there's no more Gaza. Gaza's gone. It's done. It's a car park. Everybody's dead, right? Everybody is dead. Today, Hamas have now released this video from Gaza now. Everything's fine now. Seems like they're all living normally again. They even have traffic wardens, right? Just wait until the IDF start their counterattack again. The moment that starts, all that is going to go, and then everyone's going to be like, oh, remember Gaza? Gaza doesn't exist anymore. Everybody's dead. Now you have overpopulation. Literally, there's like massive overpopulation right now in Gaza until it happens again. So the ICC, the International Criminal Court, have now responded to Frederick Merz's invitation to Netanyahu. So this is about, obviously, the new incoming chancellor. It's not going to be chancellor of Germany for a while because of the negotiations for the new coalition. But Netanyahu and Merz were talking. The ICC decided to get involved, saying, under the Rome Statute, Enforcing the court's decision is a legal duty. It is not for individual states to unilaterally assess the validity of the court's ruling. So this goes back to the International Criminal Court's arrest warrant against Prime Minister Netanyahu, right? Germany says, well, we're going to invite him to come for a visit. Germany is obligated under the Rome Statute as part of the ICC treaty to arrest the Prime Minister of Israel. Now, Frederick Merz said, well, I'm not going to do that. But the ICC have said, well, we're going to sanction you as well, Germany. So you do realize if most of the sane countries who are part of the Rome Statute decide to basically say F off to the ICC can't sanction everybody and arrest everybody. You do realize the ICC is funded by the same countries and their taxpayers. What are they thinking? Do they really think that they have any right to tell countries how to run their own countries and their own affairs? You can't tell leaders in Germany or the UK or anywhere else how you should conduct your own business in your own territory. You do not have the legal powers. They think they do because of the Rome Statute, but nope. All they can do is punish Germany. Ooh, so much punishment. Obviously, they're not going to do it. Super chat from a Knickknack from Canada saying, thanks for speaking the truth. Thank you so much for watching. And Marie Elena Cambria, thank you very much for that as well. Let's go back to some non-super chats while we're here. Guyan says, what a drama. I know, what a bit of a mess, right? I see Islamist supporters instead of ICC. Yeah. Absolute mess. So, Germany needs to leave the Rome Statutes and the EU. So you do know what one main country that's not part of the Rome Statute? Oh yeah, the United States. So you don't have to be part of it. All these stupid European countries have decided to sign up to it. But again, you can't really enforce it anyway. What are they going to do? They can't put an arrest warrant on every single Western Prime Minister and President. It's not going to look good on the ICC. And considering the ICC is now being investigated by President Trump, probably best not to alienate more people. So, where are we with you guys? Yeah, Blue Sapphire is right. ICC can go to hell. Where the F have they been for the last 20 years? Where are they now? Even now? You've seen what's been going on to Christians in Nigeria, in Congo. You've seen what's been going on to ordinary people in Venezuela. They don't seem to care much. They've still seen what's going on in Bangladesh. No priority for the ICC unless the Jews are involved. Then, oh yes, they're going to come for them. James says the ICC should stick to organizing cricket matches. It's a different ICC, but yeah. Dean Evans says 2C is the man. That is, in fact, my gender. If it wasn't for him and others like him, we would all be slaves to the BBC's lying crap. That is absolutely factual. Yes, I take full responsibility. Anyway, that is a bit of a reminder. You ready? You ready? You ready? Yep. Okay. Documentary is coming. Yes, Groomed. The latest 2CTV Plus documentary led by Sammy Woodhouse and, of course, featuring Rupert Lowe, Reform UK's Rupert Lowe. As I said last night, we did a bit of a promo during the live stream, but I thought that was mean. We should do it again. So if you use the promo code DOC10 and go on, there we go. That was nice. 2C.tv. You can join 2CTV Plus on annual memberships. You get 10% off. Limited offer. Don't let me remind you again. And then obviously you get access to all the documentaries and everything else we have, and the chat forum as well. We'll be releasing this documentary in the next few days towards the end of the week, and of course we got more stuff coming out as well. It's only with your support that we can actually do this, because YouTube monetization at this point doesn't exist. Every video is basically sensitive enough to be demonetized, which is fair enough. So the whole team relies on the 2CTV Plus as a product and as a platform to do well. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. I'll keep you guys posted over the next few hours on what's going on with these smelly idiots in Gaza. I'm Maya 2C, and we are the media.